All right. Really pleased with how the weekend went. For that matter, really pleased with how the past 2 months have gone. Roster building, it's 12 months a year. It never stops, but these 2 months are critical, and really excited and proud of the personnel guys upstairs and how they attacked it, how they stayed with it. We used every resource we could, every different way to acquire guys that we thought were right for us. They did a great job in identifying, and they also did a great job in then going out and securing the guys that we felt we needed for this team. So really proud of that, proud of the collaboration with the coaching staff. They put a lot of work into it, and it goes unnoticed sometimes, but they do an exceptional job in this area as well. And with that, who's first?
So last time we talked to you, I would have said, hey, you're going to add what you've added in that defensive line room.
Yeah.
What do you think your reaction would have been, and what has it been since adding Dexter?
Our plan is always to add as many good pieces as we can, and really the star of the show is Katie and how she was able to fit it all together. I mean, we're at the top of the league in spending, and we're making it work, and she makes that work, and it was exceptional because we had opportunities come to us that we weren't expecting financially, and she was able to still make it work, which was sensational. We've layered in a lot of costs this year, next year, and those things are factors as we go forward, but we'll manage them the best way that we can.
What's the feeling like as you decide I'm going to make this Dexter Lawrence trade, and kind of can you describe that feeling for you, maybe making that sort of trade for the first time in your career?
Yeah, it felt good getting Big Dex in here. He's a guy that we've had high opinion of, since he was at Clemson. He's a real guy, and these things don't happen very often, and it's not very often you get a chance to acquire an All-Pro for a price that you think is acceptable, and it was a process getting that done, but it worked out for both sides, and I think it has to work out for both sides in order for something like that to come together. But he fit exactly what we felt we needed. He's going to elevate the people next to him and the people behind him, and that's good. And we've got a lot of other guys there that are going to elevate those people as well.
Duke, when you were doing maybe simulations before the Dexter trade, how much was it a factor that when you did them and you got to 10 and you looked around and go, those just aren't guys we want, or is it just the cost of doing business giving up that 10th pick to get Dexter?
Yeah, I don't give up the 10th pick in the draft. I enjoy the draft, and I think adding those young players is a real positive. But we do an analysis of who we might be giving up. You never know, who the first 9 picks are going to be. But we do those analysis, and we look at who we might be forgoing to get this done, and we felt like whoever it was a good move for us, and that's why we went forward with it and tried to make it work. And you have to make it work for the Giants as well, and that pick was attractive enough to make it work.
Obviously, Duke, there was a lot of emphasis on your end to rebuild the defense, rework it, however you want to phrase it. What was the thinking internally between the players you liked? Obviously, you liked the linebackers the way they are. You like DJ, you like Dax, and the pieces that you had to add. What was the thinking, the conversations on all of the pieces that you added?
Yeah, we're trying to put a group together that's complete, but that will play together as well. And you don't get opportunities in every position group, so you have to take advantage of the opportunities you get when they're in front of you. And it might not be the exact position group you want, but it's an opportunity that elevates our football team, and that's how we look at the draft as well. We're looking for opportunities to elevate our football team, whether it's the ideal position at the moment or not. We're looking for the best players available, and we attack free agency in that way a little bit. That's more positional driven from the onset. But then you get things that come at you that you might not have expected, and you say, hey, this is also a good move. We need to consider doing this.
This is probably the most aggressive that y'all have been in terms of, going out and getting Dexter and maybe how you structure things financially in certain ways. Why do you think that is this offseason? Y'all been more aggressive than usual?
Every offseason is different, Ben. I don't know. I've never had two identical offenses or off seasons. It's a factor of need and opportunity meeting, and sometimes the need is there without the opportunity, and sometimes the opportunity is there without the need. And you have to decide whether you want to take advantage of it or not. But this offseason presented opportunities for us with guys that we had targeted and liked, and we went for those opportunities. You know, whether it was unrestricted free agency or whether it was guys who had been released by their teams or guys who have been traded, we kind of look at every angle. You can't put that together at the onset. You have to be able to adapt and be flexible, and that's what we were when the Dexter thing came upon us, and the opportunity to do that. We had to be flexible because it was something that was meaningful for our football team and would elevate us all.
The tenth pick is obviously.
With the Dexter trade, you mentioned Katie, you mentioned statement ownership. Did that take some time, some convincing? How did those conversations evolve over time with all of you guys up there?
We meet all the time, and there wasn't anybody that wasn't for trying to get it done. You know, whether it's the compensation or whether it's the financial package that would come with them if we did get the opportunity to talk to them about that, and how that would fit this year, not only this year but going forward. And those are challenges that we've accepted, and we're going to be working through those challenges as we go the next couple of years. And but the opportunity to add those players outweighed the challenges, and we're willing to go through the challenges to make it work. And you can't just build a team on individuals, and so the group that's in there right now, they have to come together and be a football team and finish games. And we think we've got some finishers. We didn't have enough finishers last year. This year we think we do, but they've got to come together as a football team, and it's got to be about 11 playing as one when we're out there.
What makes Dexter special, where you said it's worth it to give up a valuable draft asset? Obviously the contract stuff as well. You paid a lot for him, and obviously you think it's worth it, but what makes him special to make him worth it?
His individual traits are rare. He's rare as a person, his desire and ethic. He's very experienced. He knows techniques. He anticipates what they're going to run against him. He's hard to move. He can invert the pocket. He can get on edges. He's athletic. He's long. He can disrupt the passer in a lot of different ways. And he can take on so others can do that as well. And so guys like Dexter, there's not very many of them around the league. And that was one of the reasons that we said this opportunity is worth doing.
It's obviously not every day you trade the number 10 pick. Have you considered in previous years trades like this that maybe didn't work out, or was this really the first time you ever pursued a
We
trade?
consider trades every year with most teams, because teams are calling around. Do you have interest? What would the level be you would be looking for? The reason that more of them don't happen is that the need and the compensation and the cap situation don't all align, and they aligned in this well enough to where we jumped on it. But we talk to teams all the time about guys.
When you look at now that the draft is over, on the defensive side of the ball, you guys have essentially added to every position except the linebacker. We've asked Dak about it, but from your perspective, can you discuss the state of the linebacker position and maybe why you guys didn't add there?
I don't think we went into it saying we're not going to add at any position. Again, it's opportunities that come up, and probably the best thing we did for our linebacker room is what we did for the D-line room, and that's going to elevate those guys. And I have real belief in the guys that we have. They have full seasons under their belt. They have really good production for rookies, and they're going to grow in our scheme, and they're going to be really good players, and I think we have depth behind them. Doesn't mean we won't look. We're always looking. This is a 12-month thing. This isn't just a 2-month thing. But in this 2 months, the opportunity wasn't there to add to that group, and we accept that because we have guys that we believe in there.
The other trade of the weekend with the Jets to get the extra to get 2 fourths. What was attractive there, and what did you see from that, from that?
Yeah, we're, it's, not many trades get done, or they get done, but not nearly as many as are talked about between teams as the draft is going on. We have a lot of teams, and would you guys be willing to do this, and would you guys be willing to do this? And then you look at your board and you have a stack there that you think, wouldn't it be great if we could get two of these guys? We had moved our 5th round back, and so that put a little press on our stack of players. And wouldn't it be great if we could get back into the 5th, and then we got the opportunity to actually move that all the way up into the 4th. And so it was good. It's a risk. You could lose all the guys that are on your stack, and we took the risk there, and we didn't lose them, and we felt really good at the end of the day that we got guys that we had targeted right there.
How do you see those guys? What's the projection on Lou and Young?
Lou and Young.
Yeah.
Well, we're obviously very high on them because we drafted them, and we moved some picks around to do it. But they're both players with high ceilings. They're both players from big time programs. They're both players that have competed against the top level competition. They were guys that all of our draft choices were guys that as we went through the process of college scouting, which is a year-long process, guys start to surface for us in our minds. Those guys started to surface for us, and when that happens, they become targets for you on draft day. It's that simple. Every touch point impresses you a little more, and there's a ton of players that aren't with us, that did the same thing. We had, I think we had 300 and something draftable grades out, and we probably had a very high opinion for us of about 150 guys that we would love to add. So that's just the way the draft is. But those were guys that were high on our targets. All of our draft choices were high targets for us as we went through the process.
In recent years, you guys have drafted, especially in the mid-rounds, players who had a shot to starting roles very quickly. This year, with some of the upside you guys drafted in the middle rounds, was there a conscious approach to not necessarily try to address this position or that position, but take a wider view with your middle round picks?
Yeah, I think, after free agency, our team is pretty complete. We didn't have a lot of holes. We have a lot of guys that played a lot of football. We've got young guys that are just starting to find their groove and play really well for us. So it frees you up a little bit. You don't want to be drafting for starters. If your draftees become starters, that's great. But you don't want to be reliant on them to start immediately, and that's not where our team is. Our team is more mature than that, particularly our offense. Now you have to layer in young guys that are going to be able to take over roles, and you want them to take over roles as quickly as they can, and as quickly as they're up to it, and as quickly as needed. And so, it wasn't a conscious choice, but that's just the way our team is right now.
Also, you typically, just look at the history, drafted 260, 280-pound defensive ends, bigger guys. How maybe a bit different in that regard? What led to kind of going with a different profile of player than maybe you guys have drafted historically?
Oh, I think we've drafted all types. I think the league continues to evolve and change, and it somewhat is dependent on what you have on the rest of your defensive line. It's what you'll accept on the outside and what you're looking for. But there's been very good rundown players that are 245 pounds playing the edge. And there's been excellent pass rushers who are 290 pounds playing the edge. So it's an individual basis and how that guy uses what he has from a body standpoint to be effective. And so we're open to all types. We don't have a lot of minimums and maximums that we have to have. Obviously, the bigger, faster, stronger, tougher, more productive, smarter guy we take. But
Obviously, too, you want talent, but